Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about the new Tarte palette that is exclusive to Sephora. This is called the Pretty Paint Box. It reminds me a lot of last year's, which I did end up returning. It looked like a little Aztec kind of thing, but it was about the same thickness. It had the same gold, just a different face cover to it. This one is prettier, but it is still very bulky packaging when you consider where you're going to put this and where you're going to store it. Okay, so let's talk about the inside of the packaging. We already know the outside is bulky. Each shadow in here is 0.0331 grams, so it's not a ton of shadow, but I think it's very common for their packaging of holiday editions to be just that smaller size. But again, very rarely are you going to really run out of a shadow. But there are 24 in here. It goes from lightest to darkest. There are mattes, there are shimmers, there's some glitters in here, but really only one that seems to have a lot of glitter, and this is that blue one right here. Other than that, they really don't have a lot of glitter in them, which is usually what they have. Usually they have a lot of either too much mattes, not enough shimmers, or too much shimmers, not enough mattes, or they have some that are just super chunky glitter. This one actually has nice shimmers to it and not a lot of that chunky glitter. So I'm a big fan of that. In this little flap right here, which I wish that they would have put the flap over the blushes, because they do have that plastic separator, but if you do lose that or you don't like keeping it in there, I hate when my shadows are touching my blushes, especially when there's glitter in the shadows and then not in the blushes and stuff. So I wish that this flap was over the blush compartment instead. But there is a nice mirror in here. You could lay it down and do it. I think it would be more of like you have to hold it in your hand. It's not the most comfortable thing to do your makeup in this little mirror, but it would work. I'm not the biggest fan of the Tarte mascara, but it's in here. It's a sample size, and this, I believe, seems to be a full size, but I'm not positive. It could just be a smaller version of their So Fine liner. And then there is a Tarte's lip paint, the glossy version, in here as well. And there is a cool matte bronzer, a shimmery warm bronzer, a highlighter, it's a little bit golden, and then a peachy neutral blush. The only one thing that I don't like about this flap is, besides it not covering the blush, is I kind of feel like it's actually hard to open. I feel like I kind of have to like pry it open. I don't know if it's just mine or not, but I've been using something to open it because I'm afraid I'm going to break a nail or something. It's not very friendly to open. It's kind of difficult. At the end of the video, I will show you, I used everything on my face except the mascara. Not a fan of the Tarte mascara. These little samples especially really just drive me crazy because it seems like it's broken and it's supposed to come out and pull off better than it does, but it pulls out okay, but I feel like you're still getting a lot, and it's just weird the way the sample packaging tube is, but it's a little too spiky for me. I didn't like the application. I didn't like the way it looked afterwards, so I'm not a fan of this at all. This is the first time, however, that I have tried the Tarte So Fine micro liner. This is a very, very good liner. I was super impressed by this liner. It kind of sounds like the water paint kind of liner where you shake it. It has an extremely fine point tip on it. It is super thin, and I put this on when I put it on, and it's not going anywhere, so it seems to be very long lasting. It is very black. I do have it on my eyes today, and it gives you a bigger line if you want. It gives you a thin line if you want. Like sometimes you just want to cover your lash band for your eyelashes, or maybe sometimes you really just want that nice thin line and you just want to give the lash band or your lashes a little bit more volume. I just think this is a great eyeliner. I can't say to how long this will last you or something like the product itself, because this is my first time using it, but I am very pleasantly surprised by this and happy by this, and I would consider like actually purchasing a full size of this had I ran out of this. And please excuse my voice. I'm fighting something. I don't know what it is, but just excuse my raspy, deep man voice. Okay, also in here is the Tarte Glossy Lip Paint. I do have this on my lips now. I think this is a very, very nice formula. I have some of the other lip paints. The glossy one is just a very beautiful shine to it, but I think it has no stickiness or tackiness to it. So I'm a huge fan of glosses that do not have that sticky, tacky, just like your lips are stuck together. I really do not like that. But this is a very beautiful nude color. It's kind of like I would say a peachy nude, but I think it would be flattering on many skin types. Okay, so first let's talk about the face products in here. Here are some swatches of the bronzer, the shimmer bronzer, the highlighter, and the blush. Here's what they look like swatched for you. It's a very nice combination. I like the face products in this palette a lot. I think they did a really nice job with the face products in this palette. I think they're very easy to apply. They blend very nicely. The shimmer bronzer is not exactly my favorite, but that's just because unless it's summertime, I feel like shimmer bronzers are kind of just too glowy for me, but that's just my personal opinion. A lot of people love them, but I think the formulation of it is very nice, and I don't think it's too chunky of shimmer. It goes on very, very nicely. I did use the bronzer today to bronze up my face. I used the blush and highlighter as well, and I think both of them are beautiful. I don't think the highlight is too much in your face, and I don't think it's too subtle. I think it's really nice for the people that like a highlight, but you don't want to be glowing from afar. So if you like to glow, I think you could definitely build it up, but I think this is more of a subtle, natural highlight as well as a more subtle, natural blush. I think they're just trying to fit a lot of everybody's kind of face instead of just like, wow, in your face, bam, of color. As for the shadows, I did do this eye look today. If you want to see how I did this eye look, just stay tuned till the end of the video. But these two rows minus this one color right here, which is Van Gogh with it, are awful. There's no pigmentation. There's no like buildable. Like I feel like you would have to spend forever to build it up, and it doesn't seem like there's any color difference between a lot of them either. The shimmers are okay. They just weren't really coming off very well, and I just wasn't pleased with them. These two rows, however, are better. They're not wonderful, but they are better. These darker colors here, these three, it's almost like a black, a very dark chocolate brown, and a dark navy. So these three are definitely not as pigmented as I would like them to be at all for a dark color like that. They're more of a light wash of dark color. But I do particularly like this third row right here. This third row is wonderful. Everything in there is swatches beautifully, goes on the eyes nicely. I do like that. The three down here are good as well. They're not amazing, but they're good. I would say the best row is the third row, which is kind of sad to say out of 4 rows. So let me just swatch them for you so that you can see what I'm talking about. So I don't know if you can tell because I am fairer right now, but this is the lightest row. It goes 2 shimmers here and then a little bit of pinks and bone colors. I also want to say I'm wiping my arm off each time so that it has a little bit of kind of like a tackiness to adhere to. Usually you might not always have that on your eye. So that's why the swatches are coming out just slightly better than they probably would had I not wiped my arm first to try to give it a little bit of tackiness. Here is the second row, and this is the one that I was telling you is the most pigmented and the one that I like the most, which is the Van Gogh with it. Here is the third row swatched. So like I said, much better pigmentation, much more quality there, and they just look very, very nice. Here is the fourth row. Like I said, not terrible from about here to here, but it just starts to get kind of very patchy through these last three. So overall, my thoughts on this palette are that I love the products it comes with, minus the mascara. I love the eyeliner, I love the lip paint, and I love the face products. I usually get palettes because of their face products. I love Tarte blushes and bronzers. They're some of my favorite blushes and bronzers. For the shadows, I'm very disappointed. I feel like every year Tarte's holiday palettes are just lacking in quality when it comes to shadows. A lot of people I've heard make mention of that they are made in China, things like that. I don't know about how that makes that big of a difference necessarily on stuff, but I do feel that their holiday palettes are just not very good quality lately. I did return last year's, and I think I am going to return this one because although I love the face products and the eyeliner and the lip paint, those two samples and some face products and 1.5 rows are not enough really to justify $59 worth of products. This is $59. I don't know if I said that in the beginning, I'm sorry. But I know that they released 3 other palettes during the holidays, one from Ulta and one I believe that was only on the Tarte website. And I haven't heard that many great things about them either. I think the paint one with the little palette from Ulta was one that people were saying was a little bit better than this one, but I feel like $59 is not enough to justify some of these colors that I could technically find probably in other things. And then even though I do love the face products, it's just not enough value for me. So this probably will be going back, and that makes me sad because there are some things I really do enjoy in here, but I just can't keep it for $59 knowing that half of it, more than half of it, I don't like. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope that you found it useful and helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.